Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to say thank you for coming in our presentation video. It's great to see you all. Before starting our presentation, let us introduce ourselves. We are from Group 9. I am Checylia Kirana Sakti, and next to me, my partner is Kholifatul Mukarromah. In this presentation, we will discuss about the articles of faith. First, I will explain to you about Iman. Next. Do you know what Iman is? Iman or faith is knowing, believing, and being convinced beyond the last shadow of doubt and sure that there is no doubt in it. The term Iman comes from Arabic from the basic word amanayu minu imanan, which means to believe. To believe in Indonesian means to trust that something or which is not believed is true or real. Iman or faith can be interpreted as interpreting, confirming, confessing, and justification that is specific. Iman is a statement and action. In fact, Iman is not merely a statement by someone with his tongue that they are a believer or Muslim, because there are also many hypocrites or false believers who claim to believe with their tongue while their hearts do not believe. Iman forms the human spirit and character to be strong and positive, which will be manifested in the form of daily human actions and moral behavior, which are based on what they believe. If his belief is right and good, his actions are also good, and vice versa. The angel Jibril once asked Allah SWT, what is Iman or faith? And Allah SWT answered, it is to believe in Allah, Allah's angels, Allah's books, Allah's messengers, the last day, and to believe in the divine decree or Al-Qadar, both the good of it and the bad of it. So, there are 6 pillars of faith are as follows. First, faith in Allah. Second, faith in the angels of Allah. Third, the faith of the scriptures of Allah. Fourth, the faith of the apostles of Allah. Fifth, the faith of the Doomsday. And the last, faith in the Qadar and Qadar. First, faith in Allah. Allah SWT or Wajib al-Wujud li-Zati, single and one, the Almighty King who lives and stands alone, the Qadim and Azali forever. The word Allah comes from Arabic, which consists of 4 letters, namely Alif, Lam, and Ha. The word Allah has neither musanna or dual, nor jama or plural form. In contrast to the word ilah, it has a dual form, namely ilahaini, 2 gods, and the plural form is aliha, which means gods. Therefore, the word Allah is devoted only to Allah SWT, the one who is the one. There is no party for him. Faith in the oneness of Allah means to justify the existence of Allah SWT by believing and seeing that Allah is obliged because of his essence. Allah SWT, Wajib al-Wujud li-Zati, single and one, the Almighty King who lives and stands alone, the Qadim and Azali forever. It means that Allah SWT is omniscient and has power of everything. The gate of what he wants determines what he wants, and nothing is the same as Allah SWT. Hence, faith in Allah is believing the existence of Allah SWT along with all the greatness of Allah SWT with the real evidence that we see. That is by the creation of this world and its contents. So, we as Muslims are obliged to carry out what is ordered by him and stay away from his prohibition. All worship, be it prayer, fasting, animal sacrifice, hajj, and so on, must be done for the sake of Allah, and every prayer that we say must be to Allah SWT. Second, faith in the angels of Allah. It is the strong belief that Allah SWT has angels. Created from light, they are glorified servants of Allah. The word angel comes from Arabic, namely malaikah, Angel is the plural form of the masdar word al-mulukah, which means ar-risalah, or we can say it missions or message. In terms of supernatural beings created by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala from the light with certain properties. Al-Jurjani defined angels as subtle bodies created by Allah from light in various forms. Faith in angels of Allah is the strong belief that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has angels who were created from light. Shaykh Abu Bakr Jabir al-Jazairi said in his book, "Angels are great beings. There are many and countless. No one can count them but Allah alone. As for what they were commanded, they carry out. They pray day and night without stopping. They carry out their respective duties in accordance with what Allah ordered. So every movement in the heavens and on earth comes from the angels who are assigned there as the implementation of the orders of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So it is obligatory to believe in tafsil in detail, the angels whose names are mentioned by Allah. As for those who have not been named, are obligated to believe in them ijmal or globally. Here are the names of Allah's angels who must be known and their duties. There is Angel Jibril, in charge of conveying revelations to the apostles of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Angel Mikail, in charge of providing sustenance to living things on earth. Angel Israfil, in charge of guarding and blowing the trumpets on the day of resurrection. Angel Israel tasked with taking the lives of living things. Angel Munkar, in charge of questioning the people in the grave who did bad things. Angel Nakir, tasked with asking people in the grave who did good. The angel Raqib has the duty to record the good deeds of humans while living in the world. Angel Atid, in charge of recording the bad deeds of humans while living in the world. Angel Malik, in charge of guarding the gates of hell. And the last, Angel Ridwan, in charge of guarding the gates of heaven. Third, faith in the scriptures of Allah. Only Al-Quran is guarded by Allah from substitutions and changes, and it is the kalam of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala that was sent down and not a creature that comes from Him and will return to Him. Kitab comes from Arabic with the root word kataba, which means to write, with the kitab means writing. The plural form is kutub in Indonesian. Kitab is often equated with a book. In terms, the book in question is the holy book that was revealed by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to His prophets and apostles. Al-Quran Al-Karim is the greatest book of the other books and completes all the teachings and laws that exist in the previous books. Faith in the scriptures of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is to believe that these books come from the side of Allah that was sent down through some of His messengers. And those books are the word of Allah Almighty, the Qadim, and everything that is contained in them is the truth. Several scriptures were mentioned in the Al-Quran before the revelation of the Al-Quran. First, there is the Taurat revealed to the Prophet Musa alayhi salam. Second, there is the Zabur revealed to the Prophet Dawud alayhi salam. Third, the Injil revealed to the Prophet Isa alayhi salam. Fourth, there is also reference in the Quran to the Suhuf, scrolls or leaves revealed to Ibrahim and Musa alayhi salam. And the last, the glorious Quran, the final book given to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For the next, my partner Khalifah will explain.
Okay, thank you, Cecil. And the fourth is faith of the apostle of Allah. An apostle means sent forth. So an apostle is a person sent by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to deliver the doctrine or track mission. The word prophet or apostle comes from the word naba, meaning exalted, or from the naba'ah word meaning message. So the prophet is one who is exalted in dignity by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala by giving it elevation. As for the apostle, to come from the word arsala, it means send forth. The word of prophet and apostle are often used interchangeably in Al-Quran, and it was the same person, but sometimes called a prophet, sometimes called an apostle, even once called a prophet and an apostle. For the reason, because a prophet has two abilities, that is to receive a notice from Allah and to deliver the track to human. An apostle is a person to send by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to deliver the doctrine or transmission. Some scholars believe that the prophet and the apostle are the one who receive the revelation from Allah. If the one who is commanded by Allah to deliver the revelation to his people, then he is called prophet and apostle. But if the man is not given the commission to deliver that revelation to his people, then he is called a prophet. Having learned the meaning of prophet and apostle, it can be known that the faith in the prophet or apostle of Allah is a heartfelt belief that Allah has sent some of mankind as prophet and as apostle who are commissioned to deliver Allah's message to mankind. The apostle means messengers of a choice of human beings who received the revelation from God and were commissioned to communicate the content of the revelation to each of his people. Also, believing in the prophet and the apostle of Allah is the first amendment, and every Muslim is obligated to believe it, as well as we are expected to implement their miracle Islam teaches of peace. Next. And the fifth is faith of the doomsday. The end of the judgment day, including the resurrections of Ba'ath, which is the release of the humans from their graves alive, after the mortal body has been returned with all its parts. Just as it was in the world, doomsday is a secret from Allah, no one knows it. In fact, the prophet and apostle could give only signs of the coming of the day of the of the coming of the end of the days. The end of the day has been described as the destruction of everything in the world. Day is called in the use of terms and figures of language in great variety. Faith in the letter that include faith in the letters that includes faith in all that God and His apostles preach, pertaining to the end of the day, such as news of what will happen after death, such as the slender of the grave, the azab of the judgment. Faith in the latter days also includes confidence in message of what follows the end of the day, such as Asirat al-Mustaqim, Mizan, Hizab, Vengeance, and the granting of the charitable records of human lifetime in the world that human receive with left hands on the back. As Mukmin must believe in the coming of the end. As Muslim believes that the life of this world has moments where it will end and have an endless day afterwards. Then comes the next life for the afterlife. All creatures are brought back to life for judgment or hizab, where the righteous are rewarded with eternal enjoyment in heaven, whereas the ungodly are rewarded doom and torment of the damned in hell. Belief in the coming of the end of the world leads mankind to positive activities in his life, even if they don't provide material advantage in life of his world. Faith in the apocalypse is also part of self-therapy. It's mean disappointed in the world, there will be supreme justice in the next. One can escape the demands of the world court, but they won't able to escape the court of Ilahi. It is confidence that strengthens their heart to grow in Him and the satyrs themselves. Next. Faith in Qada and Qadar. There is a destiny or the whims of Allah implies that there is a definite provision of Allah to apply to each of His creatures, and that what an individual has accomplished can manifest solely by Allah's permission. The last united faith is to believe in Qada and Qadar, often called faith. Qada comes from a Qada word meaning will or statue, as for Qadar comes from the Qadara word, which mean provisions or measures. That the scholars differ in opinion on the difference between the two terms, in part saying that Qada was Allah's certitude from the time of Azali, the time of no beginning, whereas Qada was God's decree on something when it's occurred. So when God decrees something to happen in due time, it's called Qadar. Then when the time is set at his period, the requirement is called Qadar. They have a different meaning, but if separated from one another, then it has the same meaning. Instead of that, faith in Qada and Qadar give us insight that we are obligated to believe in omnipotence and power of Amicly, God as the only substance with the sole authority to lower and determine the requirements of His creatures. Believing is there is a destiny or the whims of Allah implies that there is a definite provisions of Allah to apply to each of His creatures, and what an individual has accomplished can manifest solely by Allah's permission. A Muslim has faith in Qada and Qadar. A Muslim has a faith in Qada and Qadar Allah, His wisdom and will, faith that nothing happens in this entity to the works of human that is ikhtiyari or choice, but is decided by Allah and His destiny, and has faith that Allah is righteous in His Qada and His Qadar, and His wisdom depends upon His flawlessness. In addition, the Prophet in his commission tell us that we must have faith in Takdir, but also must strive, and therefore will Qada and Qadar not all uzur to give charity and strive in life. Next. And the conclusion, the function of expressing faith through oral means is to reveal the conviction of the heart, which influences the enactment of outer laws. Therefore, a person who justifies in his heart is categorized as a believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meanwhile, those who justify in their hearts as well as testify orally are classified as Muslim believers in sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Islamic law applies to them. Okay, thank you. I will give it back to Cecil.
Yes, thank you, Khalifah. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you very much for your great attentions, ladies and gentlemen. May all this we have shares be beneficial for all of us. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.